This is Gary Atencio with CNTV, and today we're in Denver, Colorado. I am here at Clever Dental. Since 2005, they have provided the highest level of dental care, utilizing the latest technologies and treatments while maintaining a genuine passion for the patient. I am here with those who know him, Dr. T. Thanks so much for joining us here today. Doctor, let's start off a little bit about yourself. I mean, you began your study abroad. You have studied in Germany, Berlin, Jerusalem. You basically have received your PhD from Humboldt University. You had some training here in the University of Colorado. Share with me a little bit, let's go back a little bit, how this got started for you. How did you begin in this type of profession?
Well, indeed, I decided to become a dentist in 9th grade in high school in Germany. And since this time, I became very committed to this profession. In order to get access to the universities, one has to have very good grades. And I was an excellent student, I have to say, in the school, in high school, and later on. And since then, I have perceived this goal very consistently and actually achieved all my professional goals without delay.
I mean, one of the things that people look for, when we meet is a smile. I mean, it tells a lot about us. The ability to show off a great smile not only makes us feel good, but do you think it actually almost changes our confidence level as we're able to be out in public?
Smile is one important part of our faces, of our presentation to the public when we have conversations and interacting socially. And dentistry, the function of our teeth is, we can summarize this of being basically main three of those. It is the aesthetics, the phonetics, and the mastication.
Obviously, our teeth are more than just aesthetics. I mean, they help us function every day. We eat with them. They're vital to our health. Would you say that a lot of people almost take their teeth for granted many times until something goes wrong and then we rush in? Is that something that basically prevention is something that you help folks with as well?
Yes, it is true not only for our teeth. Even a small finger on our hand, we realize it is important once, God forbid, it's missing due to some accident, for example. And teeth are as well a very, very indeed important part of our lives. Quality of life is very much connected to our health and to the health of our teeth.
Let me ask you, obviously, like anything of value, a little preventative maintenance goes a long way. You yourself wrote a dissertation on decay prevention when it comes to children. Is it important that we start out early in understanding that there's a part that we can play as well?
Unlike in other fields of medicine, indeed, prevention in dentistry works very, very well and predictable. And I myself, for example, have 2 children. None of them have had any filling indeed before. Till today, they are 23, 24 years old. So indeed, in order to avoid decay and illness and pain and cost, which cost comes along with these problems, doesn't take a lot to avoid those, to have good behavior, good habits, so our teeth are staying with us for our life.
I mean, folks that come into your office, be it for preventative maintenance, oral hygiene, corrective, you name it, is it safe to say that the public out there, we have a fear of going to the dentistry? Share with me how your administrative staff is able to help people and kind of put them into calm as they come in.
We apply the common practices taught and used in dentistry to make everything possible for our patients to feel comfortable. There are some aspects which do distinguish us from other offices and dentists indeed. Maybe it is due to the education I had in Germany. In Germany, dentistry, indeed, is defined as not being a business. What does it mean? If I would be a salesperson in the car industry, my goal would be to sell as expensive car and as big a car I can sell, and hopefully the customer can afford, because this is how capitalistic system does work. We know this every day. However, if a patient comes in our office, we do not have business with him. We are not trying to sell him anything, because imagine we would sell our services to children, to elderly, to everybody, indeed, more than they indeed need. Health is something else than business. And that's why we really try our best to find, obviously, the needed procedures, the needed help, but we try everything to do it rightfully, economically, reasonably, so patient can actually afford the needed help.
This is a full-service dentistry. I mean, everything from your cleaning, your fillings, restoration. Have you seen technology actually improve quite a bit in the years that you've been involved?
Yes, indeed. As many other aspects in our life, obviously progress, technical progress, scientific progress is also a big part of dentistry. And if I think about how we were taught and what we did 30 years ago when I have started to practice dentistry and today, it is a huge difference. We apply today digital technologies. We have imaging which allows us to see more and better understand the problems may occur in our tissues. We use magnification in all our instances so we can see better. We use computer-aided design and manufacturing techniques so we can be more precise and be more affordable for our patients.
Basic dentistry, traditional dentistry is something you provide, but you've specialized in that of like implants. Since 1992, you have implanted thousands. Share with us why that was a niche that you really felt was important for you to not only further educate yourself, but provide to the public.
Dentistry did a huge step forward in terms of replacing missing teeth, especially when modern implantology came in, which was first developed in Europe. And when I was a young dentist, met these first techniques and was immediately interested in it because it has allowed us to replace teeth. Fixed means usually which prostheses do not need to be removed without affecting other natural healthy teeth. And since then there was a tremendous development, and I strive myself as my team to keep up with the developments.
Bridges, crowns, dentures, even extractions, if that's what is needed. Is it important for you to really educate the patient in the chair as to what their options are so they can make a rational choice as to what would be best?
We call this in medicine informed consent. Whenever we do something, some treatment to our patient, he allows us to do it only if he understands that. And we have to make sure that we provide him the knowledge and explanations as much as possible, individual to each person, so he knows what we are offering him, he knows his options, and helps us to help him to find the right choice which fits his needs and his financial abilities.
As we said before, obviously the health of our teeth is first and foremost, but let's be honest, a beautiful smile is something that can help us maybe land a better relationship, possibly even in a job interview, land a great job. Share with me some of the aesthetics that you're able to help with when it comes to cosmetic dentistry, like that of veneers or even teeth whitening. Is that something that is gaining popularity throughout the years?
Our slogan is nice smiles, open doors. And this is basically says everything. When we have a nice smile, it may open us doors for our life, for our opportunities. If we don't have a nice smile, it rather does not help this. It does not mean, obviously, that it is not possible without. We know that. But it obviously helps.
I have a child that just turned 3 years old. To me, that seems a little early to bring him into the dentist, but that's really not the case, is what I'm understanding. Back in my day, it almost like DK and children went hand in hand. Does that not have to be the case today?
It does not have to be the case today, indeed. And this is one big part of the prevention prophylaxis in dentistry, is to educate the patients, the people, the mothers and the fathers and the grandfathers and mothers, to teach their children and grandchildren what to do and what not to do, so they can have a nice, healthy smile and do not have to see a dentist on a regular basis. We do obviously recommend to see the dental hygienist on a regular basis. And that's why I always say to my patients, if you don't want to see me, better you see the dental hygienist.
Excellent. I mean, so really it's not too early to bring in a child. 3 years old, when they hit that birthday, is a good time to bring them in. I would imagine it's almost a win-win, because not only do you start them early and help them to understand that there's not this fear that needs to be to come in and take care of their teeth, yet at the same time it's a win because, I mean, for your pocketbook, being able to prevent something that could later on be pretty costly.
We do indeed recommend to bring children as early as possible when the teeth arrive. The most important aspect in this day and in this time frame of life, young life, is to get the child familiar with the situation. It is not the most important thing to find one cavity possibly and too early possibly to treat this, because this indeed can damage the child for life if we stress it. So it is rather obviously better not to have any decay, but it is more important to get the child to get used to the situation, so he knows it is one part of his life to stay healthy. And then, as needed, and when it is ripe, we may apply some treatment to benefit the child, as well as possibly decayed teeth, but also to guard very carefully that we do not damage his psychology in terms of dentistry.
You mentioned earlier, I mean, because of the fact that you have studied abroad, not only here in the United States, but do you think here in the United States we've almost turned the dentistry into almost like selling retail, almost upselling, instead of really trying to understand what is best to fix the teeth of the patient? Is that something that you pride yourself on being able to offer the public?
It is a question not only concerning the dentistry. It is a question which concerns our lives in many different aspects. I'm giving you an example. I'm a motorcyclist, so I'm riding a motorcycle. We may have an option to see actually my motorcycle in a couple of seconds. So here is also a question: should the government take care and ask the drivers and prescribe them actually that they have to use protective gear, yes or not? And I understand it is always a discussion about our personal freedoms and about the risks and the obligations the society has to bear if an accident, for example, happens. I have a patient whose son had an accident in a motorcycle, and since 20 years he is disabled and they care for him. And he had indeed an accident, and without having wear a helmet and other protective gears. So here's the question. We have a situation where a driver was not obligated to have protective gears by law, but at the end somebody else, his parents, or maybe the society itself, has to finance and to care for him. So these topics, as well as in dentistry and everywhere else, have to be discussed: how much government should have influence on our life for the better of our lives, even if we sometimes don't understand that.
I mean, because of your roots that basically go to other countries, how important is it for you not only to give back locally, but also to give back in other countries? Tell me about what you've been able to do in the past.
Very good question. I'm indeed a person who thinks that we, as citizens of any country we live in, have the obligation to contribute to the well-being of countries and nations. So I do have very well interests in Germany, where I lived for almost 30 years and have my parents living there still today. I do have very close ties to Israel and also to Russia or former Soviet Union, where I have also relatives and friends. And in all those countries, indeed, I have little projects, like now one in Israel, where I'm going to contribute to a continuing education course.
I mean, at the end of the day, it is about the patient and their smile. Yet, I see that you have also been awarded a great award. Was that something that your staff as well as yourself are very proud of?
Yes, indeed. If of all awards and achievements I have successfully received awards or recognition for, then this one is the most important for me. And why? Because it is based on statistics. It is really mathematics. It is a study which was conducted by the biggest dental insurance here in Colorado, the Dental Delta, and they have reviewed the treatment of all Colorado dentists over a 3 years period. And in 2016, they have chosen a lead group of dentists to whom I also was chosen, which was on criteria based on how effective, how reasonably, how preventively we provide the treatment for our patients. And this is, first of all, really a proof that our concepts, which every dentist has its own, is working. And it is also a good start with to continue and to improve yourself, ourselves, my team, and hopefully other colleagues for the future, for the benefit of our patients.
The definition of the word clever is to understand, to learn, to apply ideas. This is an organization you began here in 2005 here in the United States. Is it still rewarding for you to continue that education and share that with the public?
Yes, indeed. Dentistry is for me really a profession. I love this profession. And I can only suggest to the young people who are still looking for, not decided what they would like to do. I really think that dentistry is one of the greatest professions because we work with our hands, which is the most satisfactory work a human being can do. We get the most satisfaction from actually having worked with our hands. And in addition, it is intellectually demanding. And in addition, it is something where we mostly start the work from A and finish it to Z, so we see really all the progresses. And in addition, we are usually self-employed, so we are a little our universe, but we have the ability to shape and form our offices the way we think it's right. And in addition, it is a profession where you can work worldwide. Wherever you decide to work tomorrow, you just learn a couple months, maybe in a year or two, the language, and here you go, you can take all your professional experience with you. And many, many other advantages, but indeed, professionally, it is for me the choice number one.
Excellent. Thank you, Dr. T. Viewers, let's take a look at the bottom of the screen right there. What you're going to see is their contact information. Basically, on the website there, you can take a look at all the different services they provide here. Everything from basic traditional dentistry to more advanced. Basically, years and years of experience. This is a doctor who basically has traveled abroad, trained not only locally, but in other countries. Also check out, most importantly, is their testimonials. You're going to find that this is an organization that provides kind of a peace of mind out there, knowing that You have a team that has your best care at heart. If you've never been to the dentist before, check out the website. They've got what to expect for that first visit. Their administrative staff is available to help you when it comes to insurance, questions you may have. Come on in and take a look at an award-winning dentistry located right here in Denver, Colorado. That's the Dental Implant Center. Clever Dental. This is Gary Atencio with CNTV. And if you don't know, now you know.